Hi, my name's Aoife. I use they, them pronouns.
My name's Kahava and I use they, them pronouns.
I'm here today because I am queer and disabled.
I'm a queer disabled Jewish activist. I'm here today to talk about accessibility because queer communities really need to listen to queer disabled people.
What does accessibility mean to you?
Accessibility is about designing events and resources and programs to be welcoming to all different kinds of people.
If access is disabled people being able to enter, stay in, and meaningfully participate in the same spaces that abled people can, accessibility is the framework that gives us the tools to facilitate this happening.
What does accessibility look like when done well?
I think that accessibility is done well when it's thought about as a framework rather than a checklist. What that means is it's not static. Talk to the people who would be using that checklist about the information that's on there, why that's relevant to them, things like that.
When accessibility is done well, it's usually because disabled people are leading it.
Why do you think organisations use accessibility checklists?
Some organisations use accessibility checklists as a way to remind themselves of what needs to be done, and that's great. But some orgs use accessibility checklists because they don't understand accessibility as nuanced or responsive to different people, and they're treating it like a box to tick off instead of a principle that should guide their work.
Accessibility isn't a static thing, it's something that you have to actively do and practice.
What's often forgotten around accessibility at LGBTQI+ events?
Well, everything. A lot of people think that accessibility is just having a ramp and maybe an Auslan interpreter, and that's it.
And even then, if they think about getting people into the building, they usually just think about the building. They don't think about how people will get there or what the environment is like around the space that they're holding the event in. Disability is often conceptualized as people who I think look physically disabled.
They really don't think about how accessibility applies to neurodivergent and chronically ill people, how physical disability isn't just being a wheelchair user, or how they should respond to disabled people with different competing access needs.
Our access needs get left out or deprioritized. And that's not great.
What does accessibility look like in terms of participating and staying at an event or service?
Accessibility has to be there from the start and has to be part of every aspect. It can't be a one-off change or volunteers who are sort of willing to make some accommodations last minute. It has to guide the work that we're doing in every part.
True access means that you can enter a space, stay in the space, and you can meaningfully participate in the space. That is, you can participate as much as you wish to, and you can participate to the full extent that everyone else can participate if that is what you choose to.
What's one thing you wish would change in how spaces are currently being run?
I wish that queer and disability organisations would support queer disabled people to run events that are not just accepting of us, but actually centre in queer rights and disability justice and the needs of both our communities.
Where should people start when trying to make their service more accessible?
The best place to start if you're trying to make your service more accessible is assessment and education.
Start by hiring disabled people. There are a lot of disabled activists, including queer disabled activists, who run trainings on disability, who will offer accessibility audits and can do it with the benefit of lived experience.
And make sure the person that you hire will consider things like neurodiversity, chronically ill people, and things like that.
Why is accessibility important?
Why is it important that non-disabled people have access to community and work and supports and resources? Accessibility matters because disabled people exist and we shouldn't be locked out of parts of society.
Because disabled people are important.